Good morning, all.
Good morning, Paul.
Just a minute to create the meeting minutes. All right. So we've got Paul, we've got John.
Good morning, folks. This is Manoj from Marvel.
That was very quiet. I couldn't quite.
Sorry, this is Manoj from Marvel.
Oh, hey, Manoj, how are you?
Doing good, thanks. Sorry, I was out of pocket for a couple of weeks.
That's understandable. Get it? Okay. And we have also on. I think that's it. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Today I have, so one of the things on the agenda today is that I've got the board meeting coming up, governing board meeting. I attend and give them updates and wanted to make sure that there weren't any updates anybody here wanted me to provide beyond just kind of the standard. Here's what we've been up to. Here's what we've been. Here's the latest status. Anybody else have any other agenda items that they want on the agenda?
One of the sessions we had discussed the SmartNIC Summit. That was a good discussion, but I don't know if, as a group, if we've concluded what we want to do there.
Okay. All right, those being two topics. So does anybody have anything for the board meeting that they want to bring up beyond just the standard meeting minutes? I will bring up what I've prepared so far and show that to you. Find that deck. Share that screen. So here we go. Get just one of the standard slides that we keep populated is who's who in the zoo here for us. I list the various meeting minutes that we've taken and where they can find them. We have meetings on Tuesdays. And then we'll talk about the presentation deck and that we have someone to be hired that is going to be working with us on that. Also point them to the SNEA webinar that we've been maintaining a list of call for papers. We've been posting decks to the website and I can edit this. We had submitted, but I got notification yesterday that we were not accepted to KubeCon EMEA in the call for papers. The only other one I know that we've submitted to is would be Red Hat Summit.
That in one of the meetings we discussed OCP EMEA as well. Did we submit anything there?
I did not submit anything there. I don't know if anybody else did. I asked in, and no one was, I think you and Mike both asked in the Slack channel, and no one stood up and said that they were going and could present there.
Yeah, let me check the deadline and get back to you folks.
Okay. Sounds good.
Paul, when you're done with this slide, if you go back to slide 16, you've got, you still have Ben Fisher there, Red Hat. Ben is now at ARM, and he's not going to be
Oh,
in the outreach team.
Ben or Jan?
Oh, you're right. I got them mixed up. Never
Yeah,
mind.
they're two
Never
Fishers.
mind.
Jan
Yeah,
Fisher
yeah,
and Ben
yeah.
Fisher.
That's
Ben,
funny.
Ben
And I know
replaced-
Ben. I see him regularly on the CCC.
Okay, yeah. No, this is matter of fact, you can actually see this is just a an extra over the top of Jan for the slide.
Hilarious.
So yeah, Ben is there, not Jan. Anyway, all right. YouTube, I've got the update here is that I've put a good portion of, no, I've got everything, every meeting that has, except for the use case meetings, because I don't have access to those recordings if you've been making them a lot. But I've got all of the other working group meetings since the beginning of the year posted on YouTube so far. So folks can go check that out. And here's our YouTube page and what it looks like. So that's the update. Oh, and then the ask. I've asked that we've not had quorum since December, so we need asking the board members to remind their folks to attend the meeting. So we need more involvement in accomplishing tasks. So we're trying to set a meeting with the interim designer to see if they can, but the only people that have said that they're willing to do that so far are Jan Fisher and I. So if others are interested in doing that, I'll put out another call near the end of the day. And we should talk about this as well today. What do we do about the website? So having the LF do that was not on the budget that has been approved because we didn't request it, but I think we should request it unless we think we've got someone with the skills to maintain it. So that's the update. Anybody have anything else I should add to that update? Okay. All right, so on the SmartNIC Summit, Manoj, you wanted to know what's going on there. What have you been doing? And I'll tell you what I've been up to. You done anything there?
Yeah, so I did talk to the organizers and they were very open. So I think it was up to our group to decide our level of participation.
Yes.
I think at the least, I'm going by memory here. We decided not to have a table because, we won't have anything meaningful this year to demo and things like that. But at the least, we should at least participate in a keynote, perhaps panels and things like that, right? So,
Right. So I have been attending their planning meetings. And and I met with Paul Baril, who's quite active in there in SmartNIC Summit. And he and I have gone back and forth with ideas for a keynote. One of them I had, and we talked about this last week, was a kind of a definition of what is a SmartNIC and what is not a SmartNIC, and where does OPI play in that. Since then, since I suggested that, Alad mentioned that this is a very technical conference and we ought to do something more technical. So I'll bring that up with the board as well, or actually with the TSC this week. So do we want to do something, a more technical presentation there? And if so, who would do that?
I agree with the technical aspect, but we can have a mix of our vision and, dive a bit details into what areas we want to focus on, a few things that we're like hotel, right, and our focus on provisioning, lifecycle management. Then maybe we can take one layer, double click on a couple of those. So those would be, I'll be happy to collaborate.
Okay.
Developing.
If you want to, I still need to put together an abstract for what I was thinking on the what is a smart NIC and what is a DPU and what is a foundational NIC and that sort of thing, and propose that. If you want to work with me and propose something additional, I got the impression that they're willing to give us as much airtime there as we want. And they're also willing to allow us to co-locate our, say, if we wanted to do our TSC event face-to-face there, or a board meeting face-to-face there, or even our outreach committee meeting face-to-face there, they'd be willing to let us do those. Any working group meetings, they'd provide a space to do that.
Yeah, that's what Lance and Chris had told me as well. But I recollect when we discussed this maybe 3-4 weeks back, we said, oh, we kind of have our own brand, and we weren't sure if we wanted to merge. Now, if they let us have a session, that would be perfect, right? We haven't, even as an outreach group, haven't met face to face. So it would be great to meet with the outreach as well as the TSC members.
Yes.
That would be good. Yeah.
Are anybody on this call, are you intending to attend SmartNIC Summit?
I will probably attend, Paul.
So Alad will be there.
I'll probably attend.
John, okay.
The Bay Area folks will probably attend. It's a safe bet, I feel.
Yeah.
Arm
But
will
Paul-
likely be there as well.
Okay, someone from ARM will be there as well. Mhm.
Yeah, very likely.
But Paul, I feel like we need to send a message during that show, because last time we were there, OPI was just starting. It was still called Diamond Bluff, and there
Yes.
were whispers in the air, but nothing concrete. So definitely, I would vote for the steering committee, because that's the most people, and we want to make a statement that says we are a lot of people now, and we're
Okay.
a lot of companies now, and it needs to be, in my mind at least, impressive if we want to get more people. So all of the other use case groups or teams, they're small.
Yeah.
They might accomplish a lot, but they're small, thanks to certain individuals. But I would say that the TSC is probably the most impressive, and you also hear different voices from different companies, which is impressive. And regarding the actual keynote, I would actually suggest we move it to a completely different direction, which is where are DPUs, IPUs used and why? And maybe even bring testimonials from people that actually deploy them already. I think that it's a very important message that I keep repeating with my clients that resonates, which is all the tier 1 clouds already use them. They just don't talk about it. And if you are a tier 2 or a telco or a CSP, whatever you are, you need to understand that that is a way to move forward and be innovative. That is a way to improve your infrastructure. That is a way to improve a lot of the stuff that you're doing. And I think that is a message I would like to resonate. And again, it's a message that is more, I would say, more focused on clients versus the crowd there. The crowd there is usually more of our crowd, but we can use that keynote to hit both, meaning talk about how important it is, and because of that, talk about what we're doing to, again, the main message that we have on our agenda is to democratize it, right? So
Mhm.
talk about how important it is, and then connect it to how are we democratizing it, and what else are we going to do next to democratize it? Because if we speak about what we've done, it's very important, like hotel and provisioning, very important. But a keynote should, at least in my mind, be something that will resonate. Not just here is the work that we've done, and we've done all of this list of things, which is great. It's just, it needs to be much more powerful.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And if I were to add, the hyperscalers, as you said, they're already there, most of them, and then it will trickle down to, on-prem, enterprises, edge, telco. And the thing I would add is, then how do we drive this broader adoption? And that's where OPI and standardization comes into play.
Okay.
I agree that's exactly the message.
Okay. Sounds good. What I will do is create an abstract that may include these things for a keynote session, and a keynote talk, and post it to this group. I'll put it in Google Drive and post the link to the Slack channel. And if folks would look at it and give me their feedback, that'd be great.
Thanks, Paul.
And then I will as well, I'm going to ask Joe to assign someone to create an abstract for a more technical, like just a session. One of the sessions that they haven't put out a call for papers yet for those types of sessions, but I'll ask him to start assigning someone to do that.
Or do you recollect when the deadline is for submitting assets? I thought it was like sometime end of Feb or.
They were talking about sometime in February putting the call for papers up. They haven't opened it yet. I think there was I don't know why they hadn't opened up the call for papers yet, but they were going to put it up sometime in February, and have it run probably till April.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I got confused. Thank you.
No, that's fine. Yeah, at last meeting, they hadn't opened the call for papers yet. They were just looking for keynote abstracts at this point. All right. So I've got some work to do there. Next topic is the website itself. Any of us have Hugo website administration skills? And does anybody here care if it's Hugo or if we ask the Linux Foundation to do it in WordPress or something like that? Anyone care?
Paul, from my experience in other Linux Foundation projects, the LF does a great job at taking care of the website, but it still is a task for the outreach committee to submit those pull requests. All the details we want changed come from us, but they do the legwork and get it done.
Right, right.
It works well.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll have to go to the board and ask them for budget to do that, because it was not included in our budget ask. And we'll have to get a quote for that. And I think we can get a quote for that fairly easily. Does anybody, one of the questions LF has consistently asked when they've misunderstood what we wanted, they kept thinking we wanted them just to manage the website. And they kept asking, what do you want your website to look like? What, all of the things around design for a website. I don't think any of us, I know that I don't have that designer's eye for what the website should look like, what the hierarchy should be, all of that good stuff. Does anybody think
Again,
something different than what we've got now? As far as
Paul, what I've done in the past is find a website that we like from another project and guide them by saying, hey, this is kind of what we want to replicate with the various sections and the one that I'm involved in quite heavily is the CCC, so we can mimic that website. I know it's gone through the same process if folks agree with the layout.
okay, that's confidential computing consortium.
Yeah, CCC, Confidential Computing Consortium.
What's the
Also under the
address
Linux
for that?
Foundation. I'll drop it in the chat.
Oh, thank you. And then I'll put it in the notes and we can take a look at it. Thank you.
And maybe just a note for us here internally, ARM is in the process of joining this consortium. We're just going through all the paperwork. So I'm hoping that by this next event, SmartNIC Summit, we have that formalized.
ARM is going through the paperwork to join OPI?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Very good.
Yeah, we'll probably look to make an announcement along the lines of one of these events, right?
Okay.
So maybe Smart Summit is, maybe something earlier.
Right. Okay. Got it. So we'll have them. This is a good looking presentable web page. There is a problem with ours. There's a bug, an issue that I've submitted that Sridhar found on our website, and I haven't been able to figure out how to fix it. So I just created an issue and put it on the backlog for Boris. Really, Boris is the only one who's done anything with the website besides Kyle. All right, so I'll put that on the board agenda as well, that we want to do that work. So, okay. I don't have any other agenda items unless folks here do. Not hearing any. I'll take the next little bit to work on the action items I have to work on an abstract and post it, and alerting Joe that we want someone to do a technical breakout abstract as well. All right, thank you, folks. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll chat with you next week, if not on TSC meeting or some other place close by. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.